Hello, my fellow Christian fiction lovers. Welcome to another video. Today, I am going to be sharing with you all my May TBR. Okay, so last month I had a very ambitious TBR of 9 books and I got through 8 of them. And truth be told, I definitely do have time to get through the ninth one. I just don't really want to read it. Like, I'm just not in the mood for it. So I'm going to share with you my May TBR now and kind of get like an early start on it once I finish the book I'm currently reading. So anyway, this is all of that to say this is another ambitious TBR, but I did really well last month. So maybe good the good fortune, not good fortune, just I don't know. What's the opposite of a reading slump? Like when you're like cruising really well with reading. I'm just having like a really great time with reading. So whatever the opposite of a slump is, that's what I'm in right now, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Just trekking along, getting some great books in. First, I'll be reading The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. This is the next book in the Chronicles of Narnia. One of my goals for the year, just reading one a month. So uh, I'll definitely do a reading vlog for this. I do not remember what this book is about, but I want to go into it a little blind. Um, Not a little, like I want to go into it blind just so that I can have really like real reactions for the reading vlog when I do it. So, first one, short one, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, and then my stack of you can't see it. You can't see the stack my hands on, but my stack of fiction is a lot. It's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 fiction books alone. Because I'm not counting the Chronicles of Narnia and that. Oh bless. Okay, so I'll be continuing in and then starting 3. Oh wait, no. Actually, almost all of these are series. I take that back. So I have a lot of series stuff going on this month. So the ones I'll be continuing in, the first one I'll be continuing in the Ladies of the Manor series by reading The Reluctant Duchess by Roseanna M. White. This is the second book in this series. It does follow different characters, much like all of her series. Each book in it follows different characters and kind of like a different love story. But I do know that the Ladies of the Manor series has a continuing thread of a mystery, whereas like the Codebreakers series, it was all set in and around the same like office of the Codebreakers, but there was not the same like mystery. Whereas this one, they're trying to figure out this mystery with certain jewels that the main character in the last one inherited. So this one follows Lady Rowena Kinnard and also Bryce Myerston. And Bryce, wait, did we meet Bryce in the last one? I think we did. Anyway, the Lady Rowena Kinnard may be the heiress to a Highland earldom, but she's never felt good enough, not for her father, not for the man she thought she'd marry, not for God. But after a shocking attack, she's willing to be forever an outcast if it means escaping those threatening her life. What the heck? Oh wait, I think we did meet Rowena in the last one. I can't remember, guys. But I can remember that I loved The Lost Heiress. After putting it off for months, I genuinely enjoyed it so much. So I can't wait to get into this one and continue on this little mystery. Okay, where's the other book? Okay, then I'll be finishing up this series with The Manhattan Confessions by Jocelyn Green. This is the third and final book in the On Central Park series, and I have loved this series. I have mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. I accidentally pre-ordered this book and I was kind of like a little upset because I had done it with some others, so I couldn't just like cancel the order. But then I decided that I would just go ahead and track down the first 2 books in the series and I would read them, get acquainted with them, and I do think that I've found a new favorite author. Like genuinely, the first 2 books in this series were so good. I already know that I want to read her other 2 series, or I know there's the Windy City Saga, and then I know she has some other books, but I want to read them. So I can't wait. And this one is about Ivy Malone, and she is a roommate to the two other characters. So it follows like the three different roommates. Each one has their own book. And she is a New York Historical Society librarian. And I do remember from the last book, we got to know her pretty well in the last book, just her interactions with that main character, Elsa. She has a spunky personality. Spunky. And I don't always vibe well with the spunky characters. I kind of like them a bit more subdued, which is funny because I'm pretty sassy and spunky myself. I think I'll get along with her pretty well as long as she's not like crazy, you know? But I'm saying all this. I'm genuinely looking forward to reading this book, and I think it's going to be great. And I'm so glad that I like made the mistake. Like, it obviously wasn't a mistake. I was meant to read Jocelyn Green. I think she's great. So definitely getting to that one. And then let's see, I'll be starting 3 series. So let's talk about all of those. First, When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Myers. Myers or Meyer? Oh, just Meyer. My bad. Yeah, I have serious FOMO because when I first heard about the Timeless series, I was like, nah, I don't want to read that. And then every freaking booktuber ever, Christian booktuber, has read this book and loves this series, and I feel left out. So I'm going to read it. This is going to be the next book I read. I already know that because I desperately want to enjoy this series. Yeah, it's all the like time travel. She has to like, it's so compelling to me of like, she has to choose between 2 families and 2 lives that she loves. Like, what the heck? That's so heartbreaking. And I need to know. I need to know like how that plays out in actuality. So we're going to find out very soon. And I will definitely be doing a reading vlog for that. Okay, then the 2 other series I'm technically starting. I don't know if I'll really continue. We'll see. Anyway, the first is With This Pledge by Tamera Alexander. And this is the first book in, well, it's a Carnton novel. And this is the first one. This is a Civil War novel. It's kind of what I feel like is a very typical Civil War story. I'm sure it has its own spin on it, but you know, Southern Belle, who is opposed to slavery, somehow gets involved in the Civil War in some kind and speaks out against slavery. That's kind of what the back of the book is giving, but I recently reread The Inheritance by Tamera Alexander. Loved it. And was then like, I've had this book on my TBR for literal years, so I need to get to it. I need to read it. Because I was reminded of like just how much I really enjoyed her writing. So I want to be able to have like read more of her books. So I don't know really how this series works because it's called a Carnton novel. It's not like a specific series, but we'll find it out. We'll find out how that works. Okay, and then I would also like to read Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. This is another book that I feel like everyone has talked about. I'm especially intrigued by this book because I've heard a couple booktubers mention how it has a lot of bookish references in it, specifically to Lord of the Rings. And I just read Lord of the Rings earlier this year and loved it. Like 5 stars for all of them. Spoiler to my reading wrap up, and that will be coming out soon for like my spring reads. Anyway, I just think that's like so fun and I love it. And I also know that a lot of it is emails, which I think is really cool. Yes, so this will be my second Pepper Basham book. And I know this is part of the Skymar trilogy. It doesn't say anything, it doesn't have any series indicators on it, but I do know that it is part of a series. So if I like it, I will be more inclined to pick up the next few because they look very fun. Okay, and then the final few books that I'll get into, another historical fiction. This is Into the Whirlwind by Elizabeth Camden, and this has to do with the Great Chicago Fire in the 1870s. I know when, let me see when this book starts. Okay, so it starts in 1871. And the first few sentences say, a wall of fire towered over Molly. The city of Chicago had been burning for hours, the scorching wind stirring up firestorms that barreled down the narrow streets and illuminated the night sky. Definitely did not realize this book started in the middle of the fire. That's crazy. So just it's a period of or a piece of history that I'm not super familiar with, but the story sounds really cool. And this has also been on my TBR for years. Finally, I'm going to be hoping to read The Healer's Touch by Connilyn Cossette. This is one of her Ordinary Women of the Bible books. And when I did my last week's video, when I redid my bookshelves, and I was talking about Connilyn Cossette and how much I love her, and was like, I've read all of her books except for the ones that she's done for Ordinary Women of the Bible. I was like, I just need to get them and read them because it's been a while since I've read something by Connilyn Cossette. That's not true. I read her most recent release last year, but it feels like it's been a while since I've read something by her, so I'm going to try and be picking these up in the next couple of months and reading them so that I can really say that I've actually like read her to zero. So this story does have to do with the woman with the issue of blood in Matthew, I believe. Yes, in Matthew 9. I'm excited. And then another kind of biblical fiction, I guess, yeah, it is biblical fiction. This is one of my rereads for the year, Jewel of the Nile by Tessa Afshar. The reason I want to reread this is because I can't remember what it's about, and I don't want to have books on my shelf that I can't remember what they're about. But I do remember really, really enjoying it the first time I read it, so high hopes for the second time around. I've also just been super slacking on reading biblical fiction this year. Like, I can't remember. I read Of Love and Treason by Jamie Ogle, but that's not really biblical fiction. So I can't remember the last one I read before that. We're gonna ease ourselves back into it with these two. So, oh, and this one is, I do remember this is about Caroline, and she ends up on a ship as a stowaway, and I know she meets up with Priscilla and Aquila somewhere in here. So yeah, kind of like a very early church time period. Okay, and then finally, I almost didn't share this book because I had forgotten about it. I will be reading Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortlund. Hoping to just read like a chapter a day of this. I know this book is so loved, so I'm already anticipating really enjoying it, and it is relatively short, and like each chapter seems relatively short. So I'm hoping to kind of get through like a chapter a day. I like to have one Christian nonfiction on the side at all times that I'm kind of reading through, but I try not to read my nonfiction like my fiction, where I'll binge, like not a couple hundred, like, half the book or whatever. I like to take my time with books like this because I know it's so powerful and it's so deep, and I want to get everything out of it that I can, and I'd rather like read a chapter in the morning and then like meditate on it all day than just fly through it as quickly as I can, because it's not the same as fiction, All right, this is the stack. This is the stack for the month of May. I don't think all of this is going to happen, but I have lots of great options. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you read out of this, what content you would like to see out of this, all of those thoughts. And we can chat all about it in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.